Assalamu alaikum. Did you know that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world today? It's a faith followed by over 2 billion people. But do you know how it all began? Not in a grand palace or a bustling city, but inside a dark and lonely cave. Let's journey back in time together to discover how a single ray of divine light, born in that very cave, spread to illuminate the entire world. Our story begins in 7th century Arabia, a land shrouded in tribal warfare, deep-seated superstition, and social chaos. It was a time known as the Jahiliyyah, or the Age of Ignorance. Yet, in the heart of this turmoil, in the holy city of Makkah, a remarkable man was born. He was known among his people as Al-Amin, the trustworthy, and as Sadiq, the truthful. This man was Muhammad, son of Abdullah, a soul destined to change the course of human history forever. As he grew older, Muhammad, peace be upon him, became increasingly troubled by the moral decay around him. He couldn't accept the worship of lifeless idols, the injustice, and the endless cycles of violence. Seeking solace in truth, he often withdrew from the noise of Makkah. He would climb the rocky slopes of Jabal al-Nur, the mountain of light, to a small, quiet cave called Hira. There, he would spend days in deep meditation, pondering the great questions of existence. Who is the creator of this vast, magnificent universe? What is the true purpose of our lives? He yearned for answers, for guidance, for a connection to the divine. Then, one extraordinary night, during the month of Ramadan, when he was 40 years old, everything changed. While he was deep in contemplation, an angel appeared before him in a radiant form. It was the angel Gabriel, or Gabriel, peace be upon him. The angel's presence was overwhelming. He held a scroll and commanded Iqra, which means read. Startled and shaken, the prophet replied, "Ma nabi kardi, I am not a reader, or I cannot read." He was, after all, unless the angel Jibril then took hold of him and embraced him so tightly that he could barely breathe. He then released him and commanded again. Again, the prophet gave the same response. Jibril embraced him a second time, even more forcefully, and repeated the command. For a third time, the prophet said he could not read, and for a third time, the angel embraced him, finally releasing him and reciting the first divine words ever revealed. Read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clinging substance. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen, taught man that which he knew not. That was the moment, the first divine revelation, the beginning of a sacred mission. From that very night in the Cave of Hira, a new chapter of human history began. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was no longer just a truth seeker. He was now the final messenger of God. After this life-altering experience, the prophet, peace be upon him, began his mission, calling the people of Makkah to the simple yet profound truth of Tawhid, the oneness of God. He proclaimed, "O people, say there is no God but Allah, and you will be successful." He urged them to abandon the worship of hundreds of man-made idols and to turn to the one true Creator Allah. He preached a message of justice, equality, and compassion for the poor and the weak. But this revolutionary message was a direct threat to the powerful leaders of the Quraysh tribe, who controlled Makkah. Their wealth, power, and social status were all tied to the system of idol worship and the annual pilgrimage to the Kaaba as idols. They saw this new faith as an existential threat. They refused to listen. They mocked him, called him a madman, a sorcerer, a poet. When ridicule didn't work, they turned to brutal persecution. The early Muslims faced unimaginable hardship. They were publicly humiliated, economically boycotted, and physically tortured. Some, like Bilal ibn Rabah, were dragged over scorching desert sands with heavy rocks placed on their chests, ordered to renounce their faith. Yet, through it all, his only reply was Ahad an Ahad. He is one, he is one. Others, like Sumayya bint Kabat, became the first martyrs of Islam, killed for their unwavering belief. Despite this unbearable suffering, The small community of believers stood firm, their faith a burning flame that could not be extinguished. Their conviction in the message was absolute. As the persecution in Makkah intensified, life became impossible for the Muslims. Their very existence was at stake. So, after 13 years of struggle, a divine command came from Allah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, and his followers were to migrate to a city to the north, then known as Yathrib. This journey was not an escape. It was a strategic move, a pivotal moment in history known as the Hijra. The Hijra was fraught with danger. The Quraysh had plotted to assassinate the Prophet, but with Allah's protection and the help of his loyal companion, Abu Bakr, he managed to leave Mecca safely. Upon their arrival in Yathrib, they were welcomed with open arms, joy, and songs of celebration. The city of Yathrib was renamed Madinatun Nabi, the city of the Prophet, or simply Madinah. This great migration was so significant that it marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar, the Hijri year. In Medina, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, established the world's first Islamic state. This wasn't a kingdom built on power, but a community founded on principles of peace, equality, and justice. One of his first acts was to unite the different communities. He brought together the local tribes of Obas and Khazraj, who had been locked in bitter feuds for generations, and he established a bond of brotherhood between the immigrants from Makkah and the helpers in Medina. Even more remarkably, he drafted a groundbreaking document known as the Mithaq al-Madinah, or the Charter of Medina. This is widely considered to be the first written constitution in the world. It established a pluralistic society, guaranteeing equal rights, religious freedom, and mutual protection for all its citizens, Muslims, Jews, Christians, and others. It was a shining beacon of coexistence and justice, a model of governance that is still admired today for its wisdom and foresight. Throughout this period, and for the rest of his life, for a total of 23 years, divine revelations continued to descend upon the Prophet, peace be upon him. Sometimes they came as the ringing of a bell. Other times the angel would appear in human form. These sacred words, meticulously memorized and written down by his companions, were later compiled into the book we know as the Holy Quran. The Quran is not just a book of faith. It is a complete guide for all of humanity. It addresses the soul, the mind, and the body. It provides guidance on everything from personal ethics and morality to law, economics, and governance. It teaches us how to live with purpose, how to build a peaceful family, how to create a just society, and how to establish a righteous nation that serves God and humanity. After the Prophet's passing, the mission to spread this divine message was carried on by his four closest companions, known as the Khulafa al-Rashidun, or the rightly guided caliphs: Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali May. Allah be pleased with them all. They were leaders of immense piety, wisdom, and justice. Under their leadership, and the leaders who followed, the message of Islam spread far and wide. It journeyed across deserts and oceans, from the Persian Empire to the heart of Spain, from the plains of Africa to the shores of Asia. The light of Islam reached millions. It is a common misconception that this expansion happened primarily by the sword. In reality, the vast majority of people embraced Islam because they were drawn to its core principles. Its clear and simple monotheism, its emphasis on justice and equality, and the noble character of the Muslims they encountered. Today, that small community that started in Makkah has grown to over 2 billion followers, making Islam the second largest and fastest growing religion on earth. So, after this incredible journey, what is the core message of Islam? It's beautifully summarized in a single declaration of faith: the Shahada, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulallah. This means there is no God worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Islam is a religion of submission to the will of the one true God. It teaches truth, justice, mercy, forgiveness, love, and humanity. It reminds us that we are all, regardless of race, color, or status, the children of Adam equal in worth and dignity before our Creator. From a dark lonely cave began a journey of light, a divine light of guidance and mercy that continues to shine brightly in the hearts of billions of people all around the world, even after more than 1400 years. This is the miraculous story of Islam. What part of this incredible story inspires you the most? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this video enlightening, please show your support by giving it a like, sharing it with your friends and family, and subscribing to our channel so that others can also learn about this beautiful history. And don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss our next inspiring story. Thank you for watching.